Hey guys, so I am making this video to respond to some of your comments about what you think you want the last 3 days before the exam. Um, I'm forewarning that I'm probably going to get a little sassy. So first, many of you have commented that you want to spend time in class building your archival knowledge. We're simply just not going to do this. We've been telling you all semester that you need to be um, watching on your own time news shows, reading articles. We've been sending you text messages to great websites that have an abundance of different backgrounds and different viewpoints on current events, on current issues, etc. When we ask in class, like, who's read them, nobody raises their hands. So we're simply not going to waste time in class trying to get you to listen to a new passage or something that we have found online. So that is something that you need to be doing on your own. And we've said kind of all year long that you don't want to be at the point a few weeks before the exam where you say, I wish I had. And I think now y'all are getting to the point to where you wish you had more evidence to use. So, I mean, simply all we can tell you is from now until the next 10 days, as of 2 weeks from today, you will be sitting in the exam. That morning. So, what are you doing each night? And we understand that you have pressures from your other AP classes and are being pressured to, find, you're given tons of information to cram in your heads. So we get that, but what we hope is that you don't put our course to the back and not continue to try to build that outside knowledge. Y'all know more than you think you know, but you really need to use those pumpkins that some of y'all thought were kind of funny. Now you need to go back and look at those seeds in the pumpkins and start adding to those seeds of what you already know. Pull out your old assignments, pull out your TED Talks assignments, pull out your upfront concept journals, pull out any of the stuff that you should be doing for your synthesis essay. You have tons of information that you've looked at for your synthesis essay, or you should have at least, that you need to be adding down at all your outside classes. So you guys need to be taking advantage of that time and doing that yourself. Again, it's nothing that we can do. Next topic is the structure for essays. Many people ask that they need to know the structure for essays, which kind of is amusing because we've been doing the same thing all year long with every single essay. Every single essay has an introduction where you use some kind of context to the issue or to the topic being presented, whether it be rhetorical analysis, synthesis, or argument. And then you have a tag if it's applicable to that prompt. So for rhetorical analysis, for sure, you need a tag. Argument, if there's somebody referenced, you can reference it. And then your final sentence is a thesis. And your thesis has been the same as it has been all year long, and that is for every single essay that we write: rhetorical analysis, argument, synthesis. It's always the same. You have your little idea, which is the one you can put your finger on in the prompt, the concrete idea. And then you have a big idea, which you lead into with the in order to statement. And that's the big idea. That's your abstract idea. That's the bigger purpose for the writing. And in there, you have a marker verb and you have your tone words. That has not changed. And it is the same for rhetorical analysis, argument, and synthesis. For argument, everything is an argument. Your rhetorical analysis is an argument. Your synthesis is an argument. And obviously the argument is an argument. We want you to have 2 body paragraphs, and each body paragraph should be structured the same. You should start with an assertion. Remember, your assertion is not a fact. It does not have devices listed in it if you're talking about rhetorical analysis. It needs to answer the question how or why for your thesis. Again, this is the same thing that we have said all year long. It does not change per essay. It is the same idea for your rhetorical analysis, for your synthesis, for your argument. It's always the same. Within each body paragraph, you need 2 chunks, and within those chunks, you need a piece of evidence. So for your rhetorical analysis or synthesis, that needs to come from your source. For synthesis, it could even be from your own experience, from your own examples that you add in, but it is always the same. You always provide some piece of evidence, and then you provide purpose of the evidence. One of the things that we have talked about in class is you guys stray away from the purpose quite a bit. And I think many of us that got 4s on any of the essays, it could have been switched had you saved 1 or 2 sentences at the very end and reiterated what your purpose was. So if you go back and look at what the task of the prompt is asking you, look at, is it asking you ownership and sense of self? I would jot that down at the top of my prompt. Is it asking you how to restructure USPS? Is it asking you how does the person characterize the Midwest? I would write down those ideas at the top of my page, and at the end of every paragraph, I would go back and look at that and say, okay, what have I now said about ownership and self? Or what have I now said about how USPS should be restructured? Or what have I said about how this characterizes the Midwest? 2 sentences can sometimes save you from a 4 to a 5, and sometimes possibly even a 5 to a 6. Main thing to remember is that the readers cannot infer what it is that you are trying to say. You have got to outright state the connection that you're making, period, end of discussion. And then again, your conclusion needs to be clear. If you have time to write it, it does not need to just be a restatement of the prompt. It needs to be a furthering of the argument. You can also add in there what maybe, like for rhetorical analysis, what maybe could help further this person's argument. Same thing for synthesis and for argument. You need to look at the big picture, look at the solution. That needs to go into your into your conclusion. There really is no difference for each essay. Again, for each essay, synthesis, rhetorical analysis, argument, the prompt is key. Period. We've tried to show you a variety, especially over the speed dating this week, of the prompts. Especially for rhetorical analysis, if you just remember the rhetorical triangle, the speaker, the audience, and the purpose, if at any time you get those wrong, you're writing off task and you're going to misinterpret the passage. So that is key. The prompt is key. Some people have asked to do more timed writings. We simply don't have time to do timed writings for you guys anymore. We have told you all this week that, or suggested that you take one of the more difficult passages from each day and write them, and we are more than happy to score those for you if you'll bring them in. But we're not going to take time in class to write more timed writings. It's actually kind of funny and humorous that many of you are begging for more timed writings right now, when every time you would walk into class, you would roll your eyes and grunt and complain about oh, we're doing another timed writing, and here you are asking for it. I mean, we've tried to tell you all year long, like, what we're trying to do. We just simply don't have time for that. As far as APMCs go, we have given you a ton of strategies. We don't know how to go over more strategies. I'll post a couple of handouts online today for APMC strategies, but they're all strategies that we've given you all year long. Again, for many of us, it wasn't important to us then, but now 10 days out from the exam, now we're kind of stressing out. Do what we've told you to do all year long. Those are the strategies that we want you to use. Learnerator.com is online. It's been on our quarterly syllabus webpage since Q3 for you to go in and look at. We will cover APMCs Friday and Monday. And we'll do analysis. Again, we're not picking up homework because we're not grading anything anymore. If these are the things that you're wanting to do, I'm looking at the list right now. If you're looking at the list to if I'm looking at the list of things that you guys want, it's all the things that we've told you to do all year long, but we're just simply not wasting our time during class to discuss it. Let's see, what else do I see on there? The day before the test, we will kind of give you just a revamping of how to go through the test, what strategies we suggest, how to work through the test, etc. But I see many people saying that they want time to do stuff in class, time to study, time to do whatever. There's nothing really you can study for this. This is something on your own time. So I know that y'all are stressed out about your other classes, but you are simply going to have to find some time to calm yourself. You guys are prepared. If you have done everything that we have asked you to do all year long, and you have done the work, you will be fine. Those of you that have continued to slack off all year, and have not found it important to do the work, or have done bare minimum, it will probably show in your scores. And there's just simply nothing we can do at this time. You just need to continue to try to prepare yourself and be prepared for the test as best you can. Again, if y'all want to write any of the essays that we have given you over the speed dating, you're welcome to bring those into us before or after school. Just check with your teacher when they will be available. I will also put up samples for each, so I highly recommend you going in and doing a sample analysis for them as well. Keep in mind that some of them are older, so the samples are going to be a little bit lower level. But again, you want to look for the good things in each sample and not just point out the poor things, because you get scored up for the things that you do well. I think that's it for now. Hopefully you guys are going to kind of get back on the horse these last 10 days. We know you can do it. We know we have prepared you. We know that you have worked hard for the most part. So don't relax these last 10 days. Take everything that we're doing. Everything that we're doing is not busy work. Everything that we do every single day, the whole entire year, has been purposeful. So hopefully you can find some comfort in that we have prepared you. So good luck, and may the odds be ever in your favor.